Welcome to Building the Billion Dollar Business, the podcast where we dive deep into the strategies, insights, and stories behind the world's most successful financial advisors and introduce content and actionable ideas to fuel your growth. Together, we'll unlock the methods, tactics, and mindset shifts that set the top 1% apart from the rest. I'm Ray Sclafani, and I'll be your host. We all know a bad hire is expensive. In fact, some say it's upwards of 3 times their base salary, what it cost your firm. A good hire dropped into a confused system may even be more expensive because everybody blames that person rather than the design of your system. And that happens more often than leaders want to admit. You know, your firm just may have outgrown its onboarding strategy. Your team gets stretched pretty thin. Client service even slows a bit. Advisors get a little frustrated. Operations feels overloaded, and the leadership team agrees the firm needs yet another person. They move quickly. They write a job description. They search, they interview, they hire. Then the person starts and the system exposes itself. The role maybe is not as clear as you hoped it would be. The manager might be too busy to provide feedback in real time. The team has differing expectations of the new person coming on board. The first 90 days are informal. Training depends on whoever has time. The new hire hears 5 different versions of what matters, and they're told to be proactive, but are not given decision rights. They're told to learn the culture, but the culture is largely tribal knowledge. 6 months later, the firm says, well, that hire didn't work out really well. Maybe, or maybe the firm hired into confusion. At ClientWise, we have a talent strategy operating system that emphasizes recruiting, hiring, onboarding, because they're all important. When firms have a clear employer brand and a strong employee value proposition, track the quality of hires and the time it takes to fill roles, and ensure new hires go through a very structured onboarding program within the first 100 days, including orientation to AI tools, expectations, guardrails, and they've effectively built a talent multiplier. But that's a lot of work. Essentially, you want to create a hiring machine that fuels success. That's really the standard. SHRM, the Society for HR Management, defines onboarding as integrating employees into the organization, including orientation and opportunities to learn about the organization's structure, its culture, its vision, mission, and values. SHRM also notes that onboarding can range from 1 or 2 days to a more extensive process lasting months. For advisory firms, onboarding cannot be a first-day checklist. The work's too rational, too technical, and too judgment-dependent. The future hiring is not only about finding better candidates, it's about building a better receiving system, and that starts before the candidate arrives. Here's the one actionable idea. Create or update your 100-day role clarity map before your next hire. The map should answer 8 questions. First, why does this role exist? Not the title, the purpose. What problem does the role solve for the firm? Is it capacity, client experience, advisor leverage, growth, operations, leadership, planning depth? If leaders cannot answer that question, your firm's just not ready to hire. Second, what outcomes define success? You see, a job description lists activities. However, a role clarity map defines outcomes. Let me give you a few examples. Reduce advisor administrative load, improve client response time, prepare accurate meeting materials, manage onboarding workflows, deepen planning capacity, support business development follow-through. Those are actually outcomes. Third, what decisions can this person make? That's a really interesting question. This is one of the most overlooked questions. New hires struggle when they are held accountable for outcomes yet have no decision rights. Define what they can decide independently, what requires manager approval, and what must be escalated. Fourth, who are the key relationships? Every role fits into a larger relationship system. Think of the manager, the mentor, the advisor, the partner, client's contact, the planning resource, and technology support as your team players. Now, imagine scheduling regular check-ins with each of them. I also love the buddy system. It's like being a scuba diving duo. As a master scuba diver myself, I'm always looking out for my buddy, and I know my buddy's got my back as well. Our equipment redundancies keep us safe if anything goes wrong underwater. In the workplace, having a buddy to ask all your questions makes the workday smoother and more fun. Fifth, what should happen in the first 30 days? The first month should build context. The person should understand the firm's story, clients, values, service models, tools, expectations, and team structure, and they should understand how the firm makes decisions and how work flows. Sixth, what should happen by day 60? By day 60, the person should own defined tasks, participate in real work, receive feedback, and know where they're strong and where they need support. Seventh question, what should happen by day 100? By day 100, the firm should know whether the person's on track or not. The employee should know what success looks like. The manager should have enough evidence to coach effectively. And the last question, question 8 here, what AI tools and guardrails apply to the role? This now belongs in onboarding. New hires need to know which tools are approved, what data can be entered, what outputs require review, and what's acceptable, what's not. Silence creates risk. Korn Ferry's Workforce 2025 research report found that 67% of employees would stay with a company that offers real opportunities to grow, even if they do not love their current role. It also points to a lack of career development as a major reason people leave. Now, this means that hiring and development cannot be separated. The recruiting promise has to align with the employee experience after the person starts. Here's the practical step. Before your next hire, hold a role design meeting. Include the hiring manager, someone who will work closely with the new hire, and one senior leader, maybe pull a buddy in. Review the 8 questions. If the group cannot answer them, pause the search and fix the role. That may feel slow, but it is faster than replacing the person after the fact. A firm that hires with clarity will still make mistakes. Every firm's going to, but it will make fewer avoidable ones. It will onboard faster. It will coach more effectively. It will measure the quality of hire with more discipline. It will give good people a better chance to succeed. The stronger firms don't succeed just because they recruit well. They succeed because they are worth joining after the offer is accepted. They've built a compelling employee value proposition, much like their client value proposition. Having a clear employee value proposition and a presentation deck to share with current and prospective employees is essential to stand out and attract top talent. With each episode, we provide a few coaching questions. First, what would each new hire need to understand in their first 100 days to maximize their impact? 2, how are you measuring the quality of hire after the employee starts? 3, which parts of your onboarding process today still rely too heavily on informal tribal knowledge? 4, what changes or improvements can you make to your employee value proposition, including a presentation deck that you share with prospective and current employees? And 5, how will AI expectations be communicated to every new hire before habits form? Hey, thanks for listening. Please like and share this episode with someone you know needs to hear it. Well, thanks for tuning in, and that's a wrap. Until next time, this is Ray Sclafani. Keep building, growing, and striving for greatness. Together, we'll redefine what's possible in the world of wealth management. Be sure to check back for our latest episode and article.